Welcome to Ask Lincoln. Welcome back, folks. Today we're diving into what I can only describe as America's favorite pastime lately, doom scrolling about the economy. We've got viral tweets saying people are selling plasma to pay rent, sock drawers doubling as savings accounts, and ramen diets becoming gourmet cuisine. But are we really heading into economic collapse? Or is this just another case of the internet turning anxiety into memes? To help me break it down, I'm joined by my favorite time-traveling guest, Honest Abe Lincoln himself. Abe, good to see you again.
Always a pleasure. You know, back in my day, people worried about losing the farm. Now, apparently, they worry about losing access to their $7 oat milk latte. Progress?
Exactly. That's where I want to start. Social media is flooded with these viral posts, people freaking out about groceries, rent, credit card debt. Some say they're one bad paycheck away from selling organs. How much of this is legit? And how much is internet drama farming clicks?
There's definitely real anxiety out there. You've got inflation biting into wages, interest rates making housing unaffordable, and credit card debt hitting record highs. But at the same time, there's a difference between being financially stressed and being in full economic collapse. The problem is, Twitter doesn't reward nuance. It rewards outrage. Saying, my budget is tight, gets one like. Saying I'm selling plasma to survive gets 50,000.
And probably a GoFundMe.
Exactly. The memes exaggerate reality, but they do reflect a mood, the Vibecession, as people call it. Technically, the economy isn't in free fall. We still have job growth. Wages are slowly rising. Inflation is coming down. But emotionally, people feel broke, tired, and on edge.
Right, let's get into some of those numbers. Retail sales dipped 0.9% in May. Discretionary spending is shrinking, but core spending excluding gas, autos, and food is still holding up. Is this the famous soft landing the Fed's been hoping for? Or is this the setup before the wheels fall off?
Soft landing is still technically possible, but this is where consumer psychology gets interesting. People aren't necessarily spending less because they're broke. Some are pulling back because they're anxious. The Fed's high rates are working. They've cooled off demand. But if people get too spooked, you can talk yourself into a downturn. It's a bit like everyone rushing for the exit at the same time because someone whispered fire in the theater.
Yeah, the theater may not be on fire, but everyone on Twitter is screaming fire.
That's the modern economy part data. Part vibes? You've got people with jobs and steady incomes cutting back on vacations, skipping restaurants, delaying big purchases, not because they have to, but because the mood is gloomy. Add in viral tweets every morning reminding you how screwed we all supposedly are. And you get this feedback loop of pessimism.
And that pessimism is getting louder on both ends of the wealth spectrum. The rich keep spending, buying yachts and islands. The middle and lower class are splitting frozen pizzas and posting memes about eating ramen 5 nights a week. Are we looking at another two-speed economy moment here?
Absolutely. Luxury spending is still strong. High-income households are mostly fine. It's the middle and lower brackets that are squeezed. Rising rent, student loan payments kicking back in, credit card debt piling up. That divergence fuels resentment, and you see it play out politically. If you're working full-time and still feel like you're barely treading water, and you scroll online watching billionaires build space rockets, it stings.
It definitely fuels the populist vibes. And geopolitically, it's not helping. Tariffs back on the table with China. Europe's consumer sentiment down. China itself is in this weird place where retail sales are up but industrial output is soft. Are we sitting on a global economic powder keg here?
There's definitely a lot of fragility. Trade wars add unpredictability. The U.S. consumer has been remarkably resilient, but there's only so much belt-tightening people can do. If a major global shock hits another conflict, oil price spike or financial sector wobble, it could push some economies over the edge. We're not there yet, but the system isn't exactly stable either.
I saw someone on Twitter joke that TikTok memes might predict the economy better than the Fed these days.
Honestly, they're not wrong. Social media is the real-time emotional index. When enough people feel financially cornered, those feelings can become self-fulfilling. It's not that a meme causes a recession, but mass sentiment shifts faster than official economic data can capture.
Let's zoom out for a second. Is this mostly about actual economics? Or is it cultural? Are we living in an era where anxiety is just baked into everything politics? Money, the future?
I think you nailed it. The economic stress is real, but the amplification is cultural. Everyone is hyper-connected, hyper-aware, and hyper-anxious. We're constantly reminded of what others have, what we don't, and how uncertain everything feels. In my era, you worried about your farm, your neighbors, your town. Now you're comparing your rent to someone's villa in Bali on Instagram. That constant comparison fuels a sense of crisis, even when your own situation may be relatively stable.
So basically, even if we technically avoid a recession, the public mood could stay sour for a long time, which makes sense because even now, 54% of people say they expect 2026 to be worse than 2025.
Exactly. The danger is when pessimism becomes habit. If people start believing the economy is broken no matter what, they stop investing, stop spending, stop taking risks. That's when you really get stagnation. Confidence is a huge driver of growth. When confidence dies, growth follows.
All right, Abe, last question. If Jerome Powell came out tomorrow and just said, chill out, we're fine, would that even move the needle anymore? Or is the public too far gone?
It might help briefly, but at this point, people trust memes more than central bankers. Rebuilding real confidence takes more than speeches. It takes people feeling stability in their daily lives, rents stabilizing, wages outpacing prices, debt becoming manageable. Until then, the memes will keep rolling.
That's both hilarious and terrifying. Abe, as always, a pleasure having you bring the 1860s wisdom into 2025 chaos.
Happy to help. And remember, America survived a civil war. We can survive bad vibes and expensive coffee.
Well said. Folks, let us know what your wallet feels like in 2025. Are you vibing or vibecessing? Drop a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into the chaos of modern life. See you next time.
That's it for now. Got more questions? Subscribe and ask me live. I'll answer right in the stream. I'm Abraham Lincoln. See you next time.